Hey everyone, as promised, this is a little behind the scenes of how I got the Black Voices of SLO performance to come together. So again, it's an event that has happened for 1 week starting on August 9th of this year, put on by the excellent DJ collective known as Subsessions. It was a great excuse for me to challenge myself to give a live performance, something I've never done before and something that I kind of dabbled a little bit with the tool that I'm going to show you very recently. And so I had these four little ideas that I have that I had tucked away, and I had a week to expand those tunes into, well, these ideas into tunes, and afterwards I had to tweak things. I had to also get some additional samples. I've also had to get a way of being able to perform these tracks, and yeah, and also to record the performance. So there's a lot to be able to take in. I'll show you some of the things I use. Right now, one of the things I've used for that performance is right here. This is the Heil PR40 Professional Dynamics microphone. And it's a really great microphone. I had this for 7 years. Haven't used it all that often, but I've used it. And it's a really great workhorse, recommended by podcasters back in the day. And even now, there are certainly cheaper mics that are out there, but this one is kind of one of the gold standards. It's I think it still hovers around $350 or so, but I will shop around to be able to try to find a suitable mic because it's not like a USB. You have to be able to give it power to be able to go plug it in an audio interface or a mic preamp or whatever. But this has been good for me, and I still use that today. Also, as part of what I've used to be able to get the audio in, I should say that what you're looking at me through right now, this picture in the front, it is with an iPhone 11. And the iPhone 11 I shot in 4K using an app, a pretty popular video app called Filmic Pro. And it's available in both iOS and Android. And I've had it for a long time. I never really use it all that much, so I thought I'd give it a try for that performance. So that was one camera. The second camera that I was using was this camera here. This is the Logitech. I want to say this the C 922 or 922C, one or the other. I it just got away from me as to what the name is, but you can be able to see it down below. But this is a webcam 1080p that I bought a few years ago. So I had it for a while. Usually with my MacBook Pro, I leave the lid closed, so I wanted to be able to get a separate camera for it, just in case I need to be able to do like Zoom or, in that case, Skype and other things with video, and this is why I got it. But turns out in these days it's also handy as a second camera that I use often for sometimes for the live stream, but often as a primary camera. But this case, it was a side camera, and that's what I ended up using. I had it hook up to a MacBook Pro, and I ended up using the record only function within the Ecamm Live software. So Ecamm Live is the software that we usually use for our live stream, and it has a record only function, so you can be able to record ahead of time rather than having to do it live. So that works out nicely in instances like that. So that's how I got the side shot, and the Filmic Pro via the iPhone is how I got the front shot. Okay, so the sound. Somehow I had to be able to record the sound from this microphone as well as from what I've been playing as far as the music goes. And so there are a couple of things I ended up using. This thing here is a little bit heavy, but this is it right here. I'll give you a better shot of it in a picture. This is the Zoom U44 audio interface, and it's made by Zoom in Japan. It's a really great brand as far as not just audio interfaces but recorders. And I bought this about a couple of years ago. It was on sale, and I got it for a really good price for under $100 at the time. I think you can be able to get it for around $150 or more if you shop around. But it's a great workhorse. The interface is pretty sturdy and great for being able to go mobile if you want to be able to go around and being able to use the audio interface in a mobile environment. So that's what I ended up using for this stream. And then also recording both the music and the mic. I end up using this, which is recording right now. This is the Tascam DR07 recorder. This is the first generation of that recorder. There is a second generation of it, but this is what I had. Records onto SD card, and I just pull out the SD card, put it in the computer or a slot somewhere, and then I get it off, and there I go. It still works really great for me, and I still have it. And one of the things I really like about it is that I can check the recording levels before I start to record, and that's been a neat thing that I really relish with this. And like I said, it's a oldie but a goodie, still works. All right, so now we'll get into the music part, the way I recorded the music. And it's a little bit of magic and a little bit of themes. Okay, so I'm going to pull this thing here apart. And what I ended up using to create the music is this iPad Pro. This is the 2018 version of the iPad Pro, third generation. It's the first with USB-C support, which I think if you're into things such as music production or video editing or photography, USB-C definitely changed the game for the iPad and for mobile computing. And I really enjoy this product, and I'm going to be talking more about it in the future. But we're going to be focusing on how I ended up using for this. What you're looking at right now is an app from Amplify called Blocks Wave. And without getting too deep into it, I'll put some links down in the description of other people who made use of the app. Essentially, there are sound packs and there are samples, and you can be able to upload your own samples, which is what I've done in a lot of cases. And it's an idea sort of app. You can be able to come up with different ideas based on different sounds. So you got your drums, you got your percussion, you got melodics and bass lines and effects and vocals. And depending on what you choose, you can be able to play these different sounds until you get the one that you want, the combination that kind of works for you. So that's been kind of cool to be able to work with. And then if you look up here at the very top, these are the sound sessions that I made for it initially. And once I got the songs and the section composed out, Then the next thing I did was I used the project import feature of Bloxwave, and one of the places that you can import the idea into is another app that's made by Amplify, and it is called Launchpad for iOS. Now, Amplify and Novation are part of the same company. Amplify is a spin-off, software spin-off of Novation. And I mentioned Novation because they make the Launchpad. And the Launchpad is a series of MIDI controllers that are touch-based and in some cases velocity-based. And it's got knobs on some of them. What you see from roll to roll to roll correlates with the sections inside of Bloxwave for the tune that I made. And I'm going to play something for you in a minute, but the other thing that I want to be able to get to is a little bit of magic. A little bit of magic that made everything work as far as getting the music to play off the iPad. And the magic gizmo that I have in my hand right now is called the Hyperdrive. Now, the Hyperdrive came out several years ago. It was a successful Kickstarter campaign. It was the first of its kind. And I just got this shortly after I got the 2018 iPad back in the spring. So I haven't had this for too long. So there are others out there that kind of like this. But this works well for me. This is a multi-port adapter that attaches to the USB port on the iPad Pro, so you can be able to see this is the port here. This is a nice accessory to have if you have an iPad Pro to be able to plug in additional devices. So what I ended up doing in this case is that I ended up using this to be able to plug into the audio interface, which I wonder if it would work, and actually it has. So I'm going to plug in this, and then I'm going to plug in the adapter back into the port. There we go, plug in, and then I'm going to check to make sure that it kind of works here. And if it works great, then I'm going to be able to make it so that you'll be able to hear some of what I played. Yep. So, yeah, that is how I ended up putting everything together, and this is kind of what you heard. That is the behind the scenes that I want to be able to give you a little bit of a show and tell on the goods. So, thanks for watching, and I will also leave a video link in the description to the actual performance that I did for the sub sessions. And like I said, if you have any questions on the performance or anything for that matter, just go ahead and leave me questions in the comments. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video when I get it. All right, peace.